Most leaders don't even know the game they're in. They think leadership is about winning. They think it's about being first, about beating the competition, about getting the promotion, the title, the corner office. They think the goal is to come out on top, to be admired, to be recognized as the best. But the truth is, leadership isn't a game that you win. Leadership is an infinite game. One that doesn't have an end, one that doesn't have a scoreboard, one that doesn't have a single moment where you can say, I've made it. The best leaders understand that they're not playing to beat others. They're playing to make something that lasts. So many leaders are chasing short-term success. They're trying to hit quarterly targets, please investors, impress the board, or make their RA Sum A look impressive. They make decisions that might look good on paper but destroy trust, loyalty, and purpose in the long run. They don't even realize they're trapped in a finite mindset. And the problem with playing a finite game in an infinite world is that eventually you burn out. You might win for a while, but you lose what really matters. The belief of your people, the strength of your culture, the sense of meaning that holds everything together when things go wrong. Leadership, real leadership, isn't about the next victory. It's about building something that will outlast you. It's about creating an environment where others can grow beyond you, where the mission continues even when you step aside. Too many people are obsessed with being number one, but the best leaders care more about staying in the game, about learning, evolving, and lifting others higher. They understand that leadership is not a position, it's a responsibility. It's not about power, it's about service. If you look at most of the great companies, movements, and teams that have endured, they weren't built by people who were trying to win. They were built by people who were trying to contribute. They were built by people who saw something bigger than themselves. Think about it. Martin Luther King Jr. didn't wake up one day and say, I want to be famous. He said, I have a dream. Steve Jobs didn't just want to sell computers. He wanted to challenge the way we think about technology and creativity. Elon Musk didn't start Tesla to beat Ford. He started it to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy. These are not finite goals. These are infinite visions. They don't end when the leader leaves. They live on because they were never about one person. When a leader doesn't know the game they're in, they confuse competition for purpose. They measure success in trophies, rankings, or likes. But real success isn't visible. It's felt. It's the sense of fulfillment that comes when you know you're part of something meaningful, something that improves lives, something that will still matter 10 years from now. The companies that endure are the ones that play the infinite game. They invest in people, not just profits. They build trust, not fear. They innovate for the future, not just for the next report. The irony is, when you stop trying to win, you actually become stronger. When you stop obsessing over being better than others and start focusing on being better for others, everything changes. People stop following you because they have to. They follow you because they want to. They believe what you believe. They care because you care. That's what creates a movement. That's what builds a legacy. There's something deeply human about wanting to win. It's wired into us. But the moment we mistake leadership for a competition, we lose sight of why we started in the first place. The infinite game doesn't have winners or losers. It only has players who keep playing. It's about resilience, adaptability, and purpose. It's about showing up even when you don't get the credit. It's about doing the right thing, even when no one is watching. It's about playing for the mission, not the medal. So many organizations fall apart because their leaders forget this. They get distracted by numbers and metrics. They talk about people as resources instead of human beings. They cut corners for short-term gain, and in the process, they destroy trust, the one thing that truly sustains any relationship, any company, any community. Leadership isn't about driving people harder. It's about inspiring them to go further. It's not about controlling them. It's about connecting with them. Think about the difference between a boss and a leader. A boss measures success in results. A leader measures success in impact. A boss demands loyalty. A leader earns it. A boss says, do this. A leader says, let's do this together. And here's the truth. People don't leave companies, they leave leaders. They leave when they stop feeling seen, valued, and trusted. They leave when the vision becomes about ego instead of purpose. They leave when the leader stops playing the infinite game. You can feel it when you work for someone who's playing a finite game. Every decision feels rushed. Every meeting feels like pressure. Every mistake feels like a threat. There's no sense of belonging, only fear. But when you work with someone who plays the infinite game, it's different. There's space to grow. There's permission to fail. There's encouragement to innovate. There's a shared belief that we're building something bigger than any of us, something that matters. That's what real leadership looks like. It's not about control. It's about contribution. It's not about how loud your voice is. It's about how deeply your words resonate. It's not about being right. It's about doing right. Leadership isn't measured in profits or popularity. It's measured in how many lives you improve, how many people you empower, how many hearts you touch. Simon Sinek once said, "The infinite game is not about winning. It's about staying in the game." And that's the secret. You have to love the process more than the prize. You have to care more about the mission than the recognition. You have to play with the intention of advancing something worthwhile, even if you never see the finish line. Because true leadership isn't about reaching the end. It's about ensuring the game continues. Every leader has a choice. You can play the short game. Focus on quarterly earnings, personal image, or quick wins. Or you can play the long game, build trust, invest in people, and pursue a cause that transcends you. The short game gives you applause. The long game gives you legacy. The short game makes you famous. The long game makes you remembered. Look around. The world is full of leaders who are burning out, organizations that are collapsing, cultures that are crumbling, all because people at the top forgot what game they were playing. They think they're running a race against others when, in reality, they're running a marathon with themselves. The goal isn't to beat the competition, it's to outlast it by becoming better every single day. The infinite mindset demands courage. It demands humility. It demands patience. Because the results aren't instant. The rewards aren't obvious. The journey isn't smooth. But if you stay true to your vision, if you lead with purpose and empathy, you'll create something that outlives you. That's the beauty of the infinite game. Your legacy continues even when you're gone. Leadership is a choice, not a rank. You don't need a title to lead. You just need the willingness to serve, to lift others, to give without keeping score. Leadership is about creating a circle of safety around your people, a place where they can grow, make mistakes, and still feel supported. It's about saying, "I've got you," not "you work for me." The moment you shift from authority to responsibility, everything changes. People stop fearing you and start trusting you. And when trust exists, teams thrive. The world doesn't need more bosses. It needs more leaders who know the game they're in. Leaders who understand that progress isn't linear, that greatness takes time, that impact isn't measured in numbers. We need leaders who stand for something. Leaders who can say, "Even if it costs me something, I'll do what's right." Leaders who build people, not just profits. If you're a leader today, in your company, your community, or even your family, ask yourself, what game am I really playing? Are you trying to win, or are you trying to keep playing? Are you chasing applause, or are you chasing meaning? Are you working for yourself, or for something that will continue when you're gone? Because here's the truth. The game doesn't end when you win. It ends when you quit. The only real failure in the infinite game is giving up. The moment you stop caring, stop growing, stop believing, that's when you lose. But if you keep learning, keep serving, keep believing, you're still in the game. Some of the greatest leaders the world has ever known never saw the full impact of their work. They planted seeds they would never see grow. But they played the infinite game. They built foundations. They inspired others to carry the torch. And that's why their legacy endures. Because they understood something simple. Leadership isn't about you. It's about what you leave behind in others. The next time you find yourself frustrated, exhausted, or questioning your path, remember this: you're not supposed to have all the answers. The goal isn't to finish, it's to continue. The infinite game requires faith. Faith in the mission, faith in your people, faith that your work matters even when it's hard. The game isn't about being the best. It's about being better today than you were yesterday. So keep playing, keep leading with purpose. Keep believing in something bigger than yourself. Because when you know the game you're in, everything changes. You stop chasing validation and start chasing vision. You stop leading for approval and start leading for impact. You stop counting wins and start counting lives changed. And one day when you step away, you'll realize the greatest leaders aren't remembered for how much they won. They're remembered for how many others they helped keep playing.